With your permission, let's go ahead and get started with tonight's video event. Here's how this works. The video is going to do all the work. From your entries and your technical narratives, we take the information, we take the pictures, we put them into a video format to be able to present each project to you. From there tonight, the video will introduce our runner-up and our category winner. We will ask the ready mix producer for the runner-up project to please come forward to accept their certificates on behalf of their project team. And once that's completed, we will have the finalists, the category project team come up to accept their awards. We'll do this for approximately 13 categories. We will then the judges took a look at our category winners, took a look at all the elements of those, and came up with what we call our grand award winner for 2017. We'll present that at the end of the evening. With that, Mike, let's go to our first category, please.
We choose to build in concrete because of its durability. And since it's a plastic moldable material during construction, architects often think of it as liquid stone, to be shaped, molded, and textured into anything we can design or imagine. Welcome to the 2017 Excellence in Concrete Construction Awards program, sponsored by the Washington Aggregates and Concrete Association. Our first category tonight is tilt-up structures. Our finalist projects are AutoZone Distribution Center, owner-developer AutoZone, architectural firm Pickering Firm, general contractor Big D Construction, concrete contractor Popoff Inc. and William Winkler, ready-mix supplier American Rock Products. 28,000 cubic yards of concrete created one very large project. With almost 410,000 square feet of concrete warehouse slabs, technology and high-profile finishing methods were necessary to meet strict tolerances. Ductile-crete slab technology was used to reduce slab curling, decrease reinforcing steel, while extending floor joint spacing to 54 feet on center. This 11.5-acre site used concrete extensively in floors, tilt-up panels, and exterior paving, making this one durable facility. Value engineering confirmed the savings of concrete tilt-up instead of steel construction and provided the owners with first-cost economics and accelerated their construction schedule. The whole site concrete benefits were obvious. Concrete tilt-up provided the owner with critical life cycle and low maintenance advantages for this working warehouse. Our second finalist is Matilda Building, owner-developer Ferdinand CJF, architectural firm Ron Joseph Architecture, structural engineer DCI Engineers, general and concrete contractor DivCon, ready-mix supplier Old Castle Materials DBA Central Premix Concrete. The Matilda Building was originally designed as a 4-story, 88,000 square foot mixed-use tilt-up project near Gonzaga University. The owners wanted a long-lasting building with brick details to blend in seamlessly with the surrounding neighborhood. The use of architectural-grade tilt-up panels featuring embedded brick surfaces accomplished the visual they wanted. Site constraints required 3-story tilt-up panels would be used, and the 4th floor panels would be erected and secured in place. A solid concrete floor system provided excellent acoustical resistance between apartment levels and separated the retail level. Clearly, the flexibility of concrete and the vision of tilt-up concrete isn't just for industrial uses anymore. And our third entrant is P-8A Multi-Missioned Aircraft Training Facility. Owner-developer, Naval Facilities Engineering Command Northwest. Architectural firm, Belay Architecture. Structural engineer, KPFF Consulting Engineers. General contractor, The Corte Company. Concrete contractor, Langco Northwest. Ready-mix supplier, Miles Sand and Gravel. This specialty 100,000 square foot tilt-up concrete facility is designed to house more than a dozen flight simulators to recreate virtually any aircraft situation. Over 70 concrete tilt-up panels ranging in height from 30 to 60 feet were used. A thermo-mass insulating sandwich panel wall system provides the stable interior environment for sensitive equipment. Panels are held together by a grid of connectors joining the two panels together and sandwiching the insulation in between. This system eliminates thermal bowing, usually present in other structural composite panels, and neutralizes temperature differentials between interior conditioned space and the outdoor environment. The facility achieved a LEED Silver rating. Our category runner-up is P-8A Multi-Missioned Aircraft Training Facility. And our Tilt-Up Structures category winner is Matilda Building.
Representative, please come forward from Concrete Northwest, Miles Sand and Gravel. And congratulations. For the Matilda Building, representatives from Ferdinand CJF, Ron Joseph Architecture, DCI Engineers, DivCon, and Old Castle Materials, DBA Central Premix Concrete.
So real quick, this was a fun project, but the one thing that kind of gets missed is if you look at the pictures, the Hamilton Street major north-south thoroughfare in Spokane is about 40 feet away from the project. So originally these panels were all designed as full height panels. So if we set these up all the way and they were braced to the outside and a car clipped the braces, we were taking out 2.5 lanes of traffic. And so we kind of did a little redesign and looked at this because the public safety of none of us want to be in the news seeing a concrete product land on top of a car and having somebody be hurt or probably worse. So working through this whole thing and making it so it was a safe and very economical way to go was really fun, and I thank the developer and our whole team for rallying together, but for choosing tilt-up concrete for an apartment and retail mix. It's a first for us, and a really fun project. Thank you all.
So helping me tonight and participating in the judges as industry representatives is Keith Musich of Miles Sand and Gravel, also, and Bob Thompson, also of Miles Sand and Gravel. Thank you guys very much. When you come up, if you'd like to say anything, whether you're a finalist or a category winner, want to say something about the project, we certainly invite you to. Thank you, Shane, very much. Mike?
Cast-in-place structures is our next category. Our first finalist is 1124 First Hill Medical Pavilion. Owner-developer, Trammell Crow. Architectural firm, Collins Warman. Structural engineer, DCI Engineers. General and concrete contractor, Lease Crutcher Lewis. Ready-mix supplier, Stoneway Concrete. Innovative use of concrete was vital for First Hill Medical Pavilion, which integrated a new 6-story medical office tower and simultaneous expansion of an existing underground parking structure. The garage would share a structural system with a new 6-story medical office building. This design takes advantage of mild reinforced concrete slab system to eliminate columns and create the open floor plan the client wanted. Shallow concrete beams in the new building made it possible to line up the two buildings floor to floor, allowing for both buildings to function as an integrated medical office building. The building exterior features a naturally textured concrete surface with a series of reveals to provide a clean and crisp appearance. Given the constantly evolving needs of the medical industry, ready-mix concrete was the material of choice for this state-of-the-art facility. Our next cast-in-place entry is Pierce County Readiness Center. Owner-developer, Department of Enterprise Services. Architectural firm and structural engineer, WJA Design Collaborative. General and concrete contractor, Absher Construction. Concrete finishers, the Conco Companies and Wilson Concrete Construction. Ready-mix supplier, Miles Sand and Gravel. The Pierce County Readiness Center is 81,000 square feet of specialized training facility and provides the Washington National Guard with a new multi-purpose and emergency response center. The clean and contemporary ICF design sets the precedent for future construction while respecting the architectural style of Camp Murray's historic buildings. High-performance ICF wall systems were selected to meet blast and force protection criteria. High-density polished concrete floors provided durability to withstand the rigorous use of military exercises, and exterior concrete for the facility's hardstand to handle heavy military vehicle weights and stresses, all while meeting LEED Silver standards. High-performance wall systems, LEED sustainability, floors, and hardstand elements built to meet military standards. Total concrete construction built with strength. Our third entrant is Tower 12. Owner-developers, Continental Properties. Architectural firm, MG2. Structural engineer, Kerry Kopsinski and Company. General and concrete contractor, PCL Construction Services. Ready-mix supplier, Cadman. T12 is a 34-story, 492,000 square foot residential tower featuring 314 apartment units with 7,000 square feet of retail space and 9 levels of parking. Tower 12's unusually slender and unique shape features a signature structural system of high-strength concrete and reinforcing bar for improved performance and constructability. The synergistic use of high-strength 14,000 psi concrete and rebar was used to reduce column sizes, boundary elements, and improve interior layouts for greater leasable floor area. Multiple link beams were used to effectively dissipate seismic energy and improve seismic performance without compromising constructability. Overlooking some of Seattle's most powerful views, T12 is named after the Seattle Seahawks' 12th man and now takes its place on the skyline as one of Seattle's most distinctive and iconic structures. Go Hawks! Our category runner-up is Pierce County Readiness Center. And our concrete structures cast-in-place category winner is Tower 12.
Representative for the Ready Mix Company for Pierce County Readiness Center, Miles Sand and Gravel. Psych. Now, Jamie. And representatives for Tower 12, Continental Properties, MG2, Kerry Kopsinski and Company, PCL Construction Services, and Cadman.
First, I'd like to thank the judges. This project is a perfect example of great innovation that would not have happened without the collaborative effort of every member of the team. Tower 12 has 8.5 inches thick slabs that span 45 feet. And some cantilevers goes up to 16 feet. And some of the corner columns are 53 feet away from the next support. And without the great high-performance concrete that Cadman provided and the flawless execution of PCL, this project would not have happened. So thank you, and go Hawks.
Next category, Mike, cast-in-place parking garages.
Cast-in-place structures, parking garages is our next category. Our first entry is Costco Wholesale Parking Garage. Developer, Costco Wholesale. Architectural firm, MG2. Structural engineer, Engineers Northwest. General and concrete contractor, Ferguson Construction. Ready-mix supplier, Cadman. Hidden next to the historic Pickering Barn on the Costco corporate campus in Issaquah sits a new 8-level post-tension concrete parking garage with over 2,500 stalls. The new garage sits on 528 16-inch diameter concrete-filled steel piles, averaging 100 feet in depth. Originally designed for 7 levels, after completing level 5, the decision was made to go from 7 to 8 floors. This created a unique challenge, as the foundation was only designed to support the original 7 levels. Now what? The versatility of concrete's design allowed for a unique lightweight post-tension concrete solution. By changing the top 3 decks from a traditional 6,000 psi concrete to lightweight concrete, the new concrete unit weight dropped from 150 pounds to 118 pounds per cubic foot. Over 7,400 cubic yards of lightweight concrete was used. Lightweight strengths exceeded the 3-day 3,000 psi post-tension requirements, and 28-day strengths averaged over 7,700 psi. It is believed this may be the first post-tension lightweight structure on the West Coast. Way to go, concrete! Our second entry is Block 52E Apollo. Owner-developer, Mirai Asset Global Investment. Architectural firm, Graphite Design Group. Structural engineer, DCI Engineers. General and concrete contractor, GLY Construction. Ready-mix supplier, Cadman. The LEED Gold certified Block 52E, the Apollo, is a 12-story, 317,000 square foot office building in the South Lake Union neighborhood. The above grade levels are concrete and steel, but the 4 levels of below grade parking feature concrete core walls and post-tension concrete slabs. To achieve LEED points for the parking, 100% of the parking needed to be below grade. But there was a problem. Geotech engineers discovered fluctuating groundwater elevations at depths of 18 to 20 feet. They recommended a high water table design, starting at only 22 feet below grade. To resist hydrostatic pressure and waterproof the space, the engineers designed a bathtub system to keep water out. Cost-effective waterproofing was accomplished by adding an integral waterproofing admixture to the mix. The result? 100% of the below-grade parking was completed and dry. Clearly, cast-in-place concrete can be a very intuitive material solution. And our third parking garage entry is QFC University Village Parking Structure. Owner-developer, Quality Food Center. Architectural firm, MG2. Structural engineer, Kerry Kopczynski and Company. General and concrete contractor, Leidig Construction. Ready-mix supplier, Stoneway Concrete. This state-of-the-art parking garage was needed to replace insufficient surface parking. This 2-level, 209,000 square foot structure includes 536 parking stalls. The ductile concrete moment frames produced a column-free layout, and a 101,000-gallon wet concrete vault system provided stormwater collection. Extensive use of a post-tension floor system allowed for thinner slabs and shallower beams, reducing structure mass and the demand on the seismic system and foundation. With these solutions in place, the purpose of retail parking could be realized, free of internal walls to provide visual security, intuitive entry for easier navigation, and concrete durability for a long-lasting, low-maintenance structure. The garage exceeded the owner's expectations and provided you village shoppers with more parking. That's a big deal. Our category runner-up is QFC University Village Parking Structure. And our cast-in-place structures parking garages category winner is Costco Wholesale Parking Garage.
For QFCs, a representative from Stoneway Concrete, please. Congratulations, Michael. And for Costco Wholesale Parking Garage, Costco Wholesale, MG2 Corporation, Engineers Northwest, Ferguson Construction, Cadman.
All right, thank you guys. I just want to say a real quick thing about this project. It was a challenge to build. After we built the first 5 floors, we had about a 3-year hiatus before we can actually build the other 2 floors that were supposed to go up. But in that 3 years, Costco decided they want to have another floor on top of it. Possibly 4, but we ended up with 3. So I want to thank Costco, Mulvaney G2, Engineers Northwest, Jose Parada, and Cadman. Between Cadman and Engineers Northwest, we came up with a mixed design that made this project work, made the density of the concrete low enough to make the structure work on the whole project. So thank you very much, you guys watching Awards. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody here.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Our Public Works Bridges category features 2 notable entries. First, NSC Francis Avenue Bridge. Owner-developer, architectural firm, and structural engineer, Washington State Department of Transportation. General and concrete contractor, Graham Construction and Management. Ready-mix supplier, Old Castle Materials, DBA Central Premix Concrete. In the late 1800s, this bridge site was home to a major U.S. railroad and is in the National Register of Historic Places. The local history is rich in train engine construction, so it's no surprise that architectural details celebrate American railroading history. The bridge is 455 feet in length and 101 feet wide, with 24 girder lines placed flange to flange. The bridge carries 5 lanes of traffic, with bike lanes and sidewalks on each side. Variations in girder camber were accounted for in the 5-inch cast-in-place deck. To reflect the site's railroad heritage, the geometry and architectural requirements required special attention and detailing. Signature columns are designed to extend above and outside of the bridge deck to establish strong vertical elements and obscure differences in superstructure depth, while providing stylized abstractions of diesel engines. Very simple, very clean concrete construction. Our second bridge entry is SR 520 Floating Bridge and Landings. Owner-developer, Washington State Department of Transportation. Architectural firm, Helix. Structural engineer, KPFF, and Berger ABAM. General contractor, Kiewit General Manson, a joint venture. Concrete contractor, Bellardi Company. Ready-mix suppliers, Cal Portland and Cadman. With an army too large to be ferried by boats, King Xerxes of Persia lashed his boats together, creating the ancient world's most unique bridge. Today, in the world's longest floating bridge at over 7,794 feet, concrete and steel replaces ropes and boats. Pontoons are the foundation for this floating bridge. 77 massive pontoons measuring 360 feet long and weighing 11,000 tons form the floating roadway. 54 longitudinal pontoons provide additional flotation and stability. Connecting the bridge to land required 27,000 cubic yards of concrete for 2 630-foot-long cast-in-place segmental bridge structures. Spread footings reduced the number of piles required by 75% and preserved 7,800 square feet of permanent lake bed habitat. For the 2,130-foot-long floating high-rise structure, concrete substructure columns and crossbeams support the 90-foot-long precast girder spans. 776 segmental concrete deck panels form both the high-rise structure and driving surface, eliminating 3.2 million pounds of steel. The new 6-lane floating bridge is one of the most vital structures of regional significance. concrete, serving our region's transportation system and building our economy. Our Public Works Bridges runner-up is NSC Francis Avenue Bridge. And our Public Works Bridges category winner is SR 520 Floating Bridge and Landings.
Representative for NCS Francis Avenue Bridge, Central Premix Concrete Company. And representatives for SR 520 Floating Bridge, Washington State Department of Transportation, Helix, KPFF and Berger ABAM, Kiewit, General Manson Joint Venture, Bellardi Company, Cal Portland, and Cadman.
Well, on behalf of Kiewit General Manson, I'd like to thank the group for nominating and selecting our project. In addition to King Xerxes, I'd also like to thank our concrete suppliers, Cal Portland, who furnished the concrete to our pontoon casting facility in Tacoma, as well as our precasting facility in Kenmore, and then Cadman, of course, supplying all the concrete to the bridge site. Also, we have KPFF with us tonight for design purposes. Did a fantastic job in leading our design team. And then finally, the state DOT, great client. Thank you guys very much.
Congratulations on a great project. It's amazing the size of some of these things that we're doing and the amount of work and technology that goes into what is now the world's largest, longest floating bridge. Mike, our next category, please.
In Public Works renovations, our first entry is US 195, Excelsior Road to Interstate 90 southbound lanes, PCCP rehab. Owner-developer, Washington State Department of Transportation. General and concrete contractor, William Winkler. Ready-mix supplier, Spokane Rock Products. Concrete pavement can be pretty straightforward, but when it needs extensive repair and rehab, it takes some coordination. US 195 is the primary highway connecting Gonzaga to WSU and was originally constructed between 1953 to 1964. The original 8-inch concrete was non-reinforced and only received a minimal amount of maintenance during its 50-plus year life. Despite the lack of maintenance, the old concrete roadway could still provide additional years of quality service. Only 12% of the panels needed replacement. A high early strength mix would meet opening strength requirements in 18 to 24 hours. A total of 13,378 square yards of concrete was replaced, and 95 panels were realigned using pressure-injected chemical grout. For a final finish, the roadway was diamond grinded to remove the worn wheel path ruts. With a little TLC, the revitalized concrete highway is back in service. Our second finalist is SeaTac Airport Parking Structure Rehabilitation. Owner-developer, Port of Seattle. Structural engineer, Kerry Kopczynski and Company, and Carl Walker, a joint venture. General contractor, PCL Construction Services. Concrete contractor, Contech. Ready-mix supplier, Cal Portland. The SeaTac Airport parking structure has been expanded and renovated several times, most recently in 1998. The facility now consists of 5 independent and contiguous 8-story structures, consuming 600,000 square feet of floor space with a total capacity of 18,400 vehicles. Upgrades included 3,000 lineal feet per level of expansion joints connecting the 5 structures, crack repair, and general traffic coding items. To restore proper seismic, thermal, and joint movements, specialty mix designs were used. A 5,000 psi latex modified concrete overlay and a 12,000 psi silica fume mix design was used for increased workability on each expansion joint assembly. The original investment, made in a durable concrete structure back in 1969, is testimony to concrete's ability to provide a serviceable and long-term regional transportation center for our growing Northwest communities and economy. The category runner-up is SeaTac Airport Parking Structure Rehabilitation. In Public Works renovations, our category winner is US 195, Excelsior Road to Interstate 90 southbound lanes, PCCP Rehab.
Representative from Cal Portland, please, for SeaTac Airport Parking Rehabilitation Structure. Yes, you may.
So I just would like to say a couple things. Thanks to PCL for being part of your team, and also our QC staff isn't here tonight, but we had to design a mix design so they could actually finish this project, because the mix that was spec for the job you could never even place. There's no way to do it. So they did a great job in teaming up with PCL and their team with Brad and with Cody and making the project happen so we can all park up there on the top floor. And just remember where you park, because it's a bitch trying to find your car if you don't remember.
Useful advice from the concrete community. For US 195 Excelsior Road to Junction I-90 southbound lanes, PCC Rehab, Washington Department of Transportation, William Winkler Company, and Spokane Rock Products.
Well, actually, I was the only guy that worked on this job. Thank you. The point I want to make, and we have some WashDOT representatives. I know they're sitting over there. Thank you for coming up.
You bet.
These guys work their butts off, and they try to keep roadways that were built in 1950 with maximum loads of 20,000 pounds working today so that our state can continue to go on. We can get food in the stores, we can do everything. And they have minimum money and minimum time, and my hat's off to you guys. This is one way. We got to figure out a better way to make this work for everybody.
Thank you, Pete. In Public Works, because it's such a broad category, and our judges see a number of different types of projects come their way, we're starting to see an evolution where, of course, we have bridges, we have paving, we have roadways, we have some structures, but we also see some renovations. So it's projects like this in the SeaTac Airport where so much of our public funding is going to bring back to life to help rebuild some of our public infrastructure. The judges a couple years ago created a renovations category, which we see each year, so it continues to remain to be a viable category. Next Public Works category is infrastructure. Mike?
In the Public Works Infrastructure category, our first entry is Elliott Bay Seawall. Owner-developer, Seattle Department of Transportation. Structural engineer, Parsons. General and concrete contractor, Mortensen Manson, a joint venture. Geotechnical contractor, Hayward Baker. Precast elements, APS, Architectural Precast Structures, Macmillan Jacobs Associates, and Old Castle Precast. Ready mix supplier, Stoneway Concrete. Built in 1916, the original Seattle seawall used over 20,000 old-growth creosote timber piles to protect Seattle's waterfront. Now, no longer environmentally viable, vulnerable to seismic events and the harsh marine environment, the structure needed to be replaced. The Seattle Department of Transportation initiated a landmark waterfront project. The new seawall is a gravity structure that uses soil cement jet grout technology to stabilize liquefiable soils for seismic stability. The concrete structure is composed of 434 segments, consisting of precast concrete face panels supported by a precast concrete cantilever structure anchored in place using large cast-in-place concrete slabs. Together, the soil improvements and seawall elements behave as a single structural system. This significant piece of public infrastructure will serve Seattle for a century or more. This use of concrete in so many different and innovative ways shows why concrete is one of the most adaptable and sustainable building materials available. Our second entry is Lake Taps Timber Flume Replacement. Owner-developer, Cascade Water Alliance. Structural engineer, HDR Engineering. General and concrete contractor, Pease Construction. Ready-mix supplier, Cal Portland. The Lake Taps Flume was originally built in 1911 to divert water from the White River to create Lake Taps, where it was used as a storage reservoir. A portion of the flume was made of wood, now structurally weak, and had a 50% leakage rate. Maintenance costs for the wood flume were increasing at an alarming rate, and the system could fail catastrophically. Concrete was the solution. A narrow site, power lines, and poor road conditions made concrete placements pretty tricky. Each ready-mix truck backed down a half-mile road to get to the pump. 4,000 yards of high-strength 10,000 psi non-air entrained and fiber-reinforced concrete was used. To provide another century of public service 24/7 for the Lake Taps community, ready-mix concrete is the only wise investment. Our third entry is SeaTac Runway 16C 34C Reconstruction. Owner-developer, architectural firm, and structural engineer, Port of Seattle. General contractor, Scarcella Brothers, Acme, a joint venture. Concrete contractor and ready-mix supplier, Acme Concrete Paving. Built in 1969 with a 20-year design life, it was time to retire SeaTac's oldest and original runway. But why landfill the old 9,200-foot-long runway? What a waste! Recycling the runway would be a major highlight. The existing concrete runway was demoed and crushed on-site. What would have been a waste product was now a new resource for sub-base material for the project. The recycling strategy saved the port a considerable amount of money and provided additional advantages of on-site stockpiling and instant access to materials, significantly reduced truck traffic in and out of the site, and related emissions. Recycled concrete also met the challenging 100% density compaction and FAA drainage sub-base requirements. The new concrete runway and adjoining taxiways consisted of nearly 205,000 square yards of 18-inch PCC pavement, placed upon a 4-inch asphalt base on top of an 8-inch recycled concrete base. Concrete paving, the best investment in our region's transportation and infrastructure. In Public Works Infrastructure, our category runner-up is Lake Taps Timber Flume Replacement. And our category winner is the Elliott Bay Seawall.
For Lake Taps Timber Flume Replacement Structure, representative from Cal Portland, please. And for the Elliott Bay Seawall, Seattle Department of DOT, Parsons, Mortensen Manson Joint Venture, Hayward Baker, APS Architectural Precast Structures, McMillan Jacobs Associates, Old Castle Precast, and Stoneway Concrete.
Good evening. I'm Jeff Bertram, project manager for the Elliott Bay Seawall project. On behalf of the City of Seattle and the project staff, I would like to thank the Washington Aggregates and Concrete Association for honoring the project and for hosting this great event. Elliott, as the video said, the Elliott Bay Seawall was over 100 years old. In fact, at one point, the director, after a particularly poor evaluation of the seawall, asked one of the lead engineers how the seawall was even still standing at this point, to which the engineer answered, out of habit. Every project has challenges. One of our biggest challenges was our project site was squeezed in between Elliott Bay and the Alaskan Way roadway, which is the city's only north-south oversized freight route. And we were right at the heart of Seattle's waterfront. In addition to the fine team we have up here, actually our success of the project is attributed to the hard work, dedication, and partnership of our consultants, contractors, and suppliers, many of who are up here. We have nearly 100 subcontractors on the job. We're also very grateful for the exceptional support of the project stakeholders. A few that were impacted the most were Washington State Ferries and Coleman Dock, the waterfront's historic pier owners and businesses, the Seattle Aquarium, washed out in their Alaskan Way viaduct replacement program, the local tribes, and the Port of Seattle. Thank you.
If you've not had the opportunity to go down and take a look at this structure, we're only able to give you just a small glimpse of some of the significance of what truly is a landmark structure for the city of Seattle. From a concrete construction standpoint, now you're starting to see how hybrid construction of concrete materials starts to come together in precast concrete as an architectural, as a structural medium, as well as regular cast-in-place concrete, to where everything starts to behave like a single structural system, and the jet grouting. Jet grouting is becoming an important part of how we do tunnels, how we stabilize soils, how we make sure that our infrastructure stays in place. What wasn't mentioned, Hayward Baker was able to take some of that jet grout, start turning it into a recycled material, and that's another significant advancement. Andy Anderson, thank you very much, sir, Mr. Hayward Baker. Mike, our next project, please.
In residential concrete, our finalists are the James Residence, owner-developer Steve and Sharon James, concrete contractor Absolutely Fine Concrete, ready-mix supplier Cadman. When materials, form, and function come together, they can turn a simple landscape into a beautiful hardscape. The James Residence took full advantage of form and geometry. The owners had an idea of what was special to them. Their new home was their castle, and with their Irish background, the contractor now had a personal touch to explore. A Celtic knot would be perfect. The knot is a symbol of eternity, and the 3 points of the knot represent deity, nature, and time. With an eye to detail and craftsmanship, the artisan selected a castle stone pattern for the surface texture. The Irish Celtic knot pattern was customized to rest neatly within the concrete panels at major focal points in the outdoor living areas. Color, form, and quality craftsmanship with a vision brings concrete Imagineering to your home. Our second entry is the Nelson Residence. Owner-developer Josh and Laura Nelson. Architectural firm Vision Designs. Structural engineer Banton Engineering. General contractor Design Doctors. Concrete contractor Elite Construction. Ready-mix supplier Cal Portland. The owners knew concrete was going to be the main material used to build their new home. They wanted a home that would be secure, energy efficient, and low maintenance. The choice was obvious. Insulated concrete forms, or ICF. With a little help from their friends, the owners' team set half the house on the first day. Radiant heat was their choice for whole house comfort and sustainability. With naturally finished interior concrete floors, the exterior surfaces used a specialty mix with a broadcast of silicon carbide. Silicon carbide is a new yet simple feature for decorative concrete that adds pizzazz to concrete, bringing out a sparkle effect that changes with different lighting. Broadcast over the concrete, it also makes the surface non-slip, which is important in our Northwest wet winters. The owners now have the home they had planned on for years, twice the house with half the energy bills. Welcome home. In our residential decorative concrete category, our category runner-up is the James Residence. And our category winner is the Nelson Residence.
Ready Mix representative, please, for Cadman for the James Residence. And for the Nelson Residence, Vision Designs, Banton Engineering, Design Doctors, Elite Construction, and Cal Portland. Congratulations, Jamie.
So I was pouring the walls on Josh's house there, and you know how ICF is. If you've ever poured it, it kind of shakes a little bit and so forth. And Design Doctors was a general, and the guy from Design Doctors, he's a pretty big dude. And I says, come on up here on the bracing. He goes, do you think it'll hold me? I says, yeah, I think so. So he comes on up there and he goes, well, how do you get a straight wall? Because the whole thing's shaking. I says, you'll find out. So we top out the walls, we line the bracing, and he comes out there with his 8-foot levels. And he's like, I don't believe it. This is the straightest wall I've ever seen. I said, told you. So that's how ICF rolls.
Our next category, artistic and decorative concrete.
In the category of artistic and decorative concrete, our first entry is Bellevue College Health Sciences Building. Owner-developer, Department of Enterprise Services. Architectural firm, LMN Architects. Structural engineer, Coughlin Porter Lundeen. General contractor, Bailey Construction. Concrete contractor, Bellardi Company. Ready Mix supplier, Cadman. The state-of-the-art Bellevue College Health Sciences Building was designed and constructed to achieve LEED Gold standards and features a vegetated living roof, the use of recycled building materials, and geothermal heating. The exterior concrete contributed to achieving the LEED Gold rating. The focal point is the use of decorative lithocrete system of recycled glass on the bridge walkway and plaza sidewalks. Alternating bands of hand-seeded teal-colored glass and indigo white aggregates produced a subtle color pattern along the meandering bridge leading to the structure. The design and pattern was tastefully simple in scale and color, and beautifully complements the building color schemes and lines. The banded colored glass inlay is one more example of the versatility and medium of decorative concrete. Our second category entry is the James Residence. Owner-developer, Steve and Sharon James. Concrete contractor, Absolutely Fine Concrete. Ready Mix supplier, Cadman. When materials, form, and function come together, they can turn a simple landscape into a beautiful hardscape. The James Residence took full advantage of form and geometry. The owners had an idea of what was special to them. Their new home was their castle, and with their Irish background, the contractor now had a personal touch to explore. A Celtic knot would be perfect. The knot is a symbol of eternity, and the 3 points of the knot represent deity, nature, and time. With an eye to detail and craftsmanship, the artisan selected a castle stone pattern for the surface texture. The Irish Celtic knot pattern was customized to rest neatly within the concrete panels at major focal points in the outdoor living areas. Color, form, and quality craftsmanship with a vision brings concrete Imagineering to your home. Our next project is Northwest Trek Kids Trek. Owner-developer, Metropolitan Parks Tacoma. General contractor, Lake Taps Construction. Concrete contractor, Turnstone Construction. Ready mix supplier, Miles Sand and Gravel. Northwest Trek offers a rich bounty of natural play experiences. Built within the park, Kids Trek features include a 20-foot-tall concrete tree sculpted as an ancient western red cedar with climbing nets, tunnels, and slide poles inside. As children enter the tree, a great horned concrete owl senses their arrival and gives a welcoming whoo. Concrete as an art medium allowed for precise tolerances in many play elements to provide accessibility for physically challenged children to climb, slide, and play safely. As kids follow the themed concrete paths, they discover a wealth of botanical impressions stamped into the concrete flatwork and many animal tracks. Can you spot the wildlife sculptures featuring a beaver's dam, river otters, a cougar, and mountain lion? The art of concrete, an artisan's touch, and the energy of potential that only a liquid stone can reveal. Our category runner-up is Bellevue College Health Sciences Building. And the artistic and decorative concrete winner is Northwest Trek Kids Trek.
For Bellevue College Health Sciences Building, representative from Cadman, please. Thank you, Jerry. And for Northwest Trek Kids Trek, Metropolitan Parks of Tacoma, Lake Taps Construction, Turnstone Construction, and Miles Sand and Gravel.
It's a pleasure to accept this, all you all concrete folks, and I wanted to say that we really appreciate the way that concrete and shotcrete and zoo exhibits have always, well, I say always, for many, many decades been a really strong partner in the way that we build. And recently we've been doing a lot of work with children and disadvantaged children and their ability to use play areas. And concrete has been a really strong way to, with precision, make things that can be available to people who are, and kids particularly, who are unable to use structures otherwise. And so this has been a really nice job for us to be able to work with that, and we really appreciate the award. Thank you.
Now, that's just one example of a term that we use a lot in craftsmanship, but it's not loosely used. I mean, you'll find as you see a lot of these projects, this is one example of craftsmanship where artisans really take place and they truly mold and sculpt complete structures and forms and shape. There are many different types of craftsmanship: slab, walls, architectural, decorative features. We're just pleased to be able to be a part of the things that those folks do. Mike, our next project, please.
In the category of pervious concrete, our first entry is Fort Lewis North Athletic Complex. Owner-developer, U.S. Department of the Army. Architectural firm and structural engineer, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. General contractor, Total Site Services and Garco Construction. Concrete contractor, Global Contractors. Ready mix supplier, Cal Portland. This state-of-the-art athletic complex boasts 4 synthetic turf baseball fields, 2 full-size concrete basketball courts, and over 75,000 square feet of colored, stamped, and broomed concrete. But how to manage the site's stormwater? The athletic complex resisted putting in a retention pond that would take away needed field area. The sustainable solution was 62,000 square feet of pervious concrete. With more efficient land use and elimination of traditional stormwater fixtures, pervious concrete lowered overall project costs and on a first cost basis. With attention to design details and pervious craftsmanship, pervious concrete was able to maximize this beautiful complex and its field of dreams. Our next pervious entry is Bellevue College Health Sciences Building. Owner-developer, Department of Enterprise Services. Architectural firm, LMN Architects. Structural engineer, Coughlin Porter Lundeen. General contractor, Bailey Construction. Concrete contractor, Bellardi Company. Ready-mix supplier, Cadman. A LEED Gold certification was a priority objective for this owner. In addition to other sustainable elements, pervious concrete became part of his sustainable portfolio. The pervious concrete stormwater management system provided additional LEED credits. As low-impact development and stormwater management requirements continue to become a priority standard to manage stormwater and runoff, pervious concrete will become a strategic and fundamental tool to meet these environmental needs in the built environment. Our pervious concrete runner-up is Bellevue College Health Sciences Building. And our category winner is Fort Lewis North Athletic Complex.
For Bellevue College Health Sciences Building, representative from Cadman, please. And the Fort Lewis North Athletic Complex, U.S. Department of the Army, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Total Site Services, Garco Construction, Global Contractors, Cal Portland. Thank you, folks. Great project. Our next award, we don't give away each year. Every once in a while, we have the opportunity to evaluate a project that comes in, not necessarily on its merit of concrete, on what solution it provided, on what technical engineering thing it did, whether it was pervious, whether ICF, it was tall, large, smaller, what have you. But sometimes projects just simply make a big impact in their community. We've had a number of those over the year, and we're very proud to be a part of those because we are a community business. Our company started as family companies in the community. We're connected to virtually every community in the state, and every once in a while, something happens where we help rebuild something, whereas an industry, we get to give back to our communities. This project's a little bit different. It's not in our region, but it was built from our region. It has significance in its story as to it has to our national significance. So we're very pleased to take an opportunity to recognize what would seem to be a very small, abnormal project for something that we might recognize, but we're really recognizing how we as an industry, how we as a concrete community are able to be a part of the national fabric.
Tonight's Concrete Community Award goes to the USS Arizona Memorial Dock Replacement. Owner-developer, National Park Service. Structural engineer, Red Point Structures. General contractor, Hawk Contracting Group. Concrete contractor, Bellingham Marine Industries. Ready-mix supplier, Ferndale Ready Mix and Gravel. A day that will live in infamy. A solemn reminder of our nation's sacrifice for freedom. After 25 years of service at one of the most treasured and moving memorials honoring our nation's Navy servicemen and women, the receiving dock for guests at the USS Arizona Memorial had served its time. The historical significance of the 75th anniversary of Pearl Harbor Day on December 7, 2016 provided the stimulus to replace the original receiving dock. For marine floats, consistency in the weight of the overall design plays a key role in the function of a float. Floating concrete systems must provide strength and maintain a uniform weight and density to ensure balance, consistent freeboard, and longevity to the entire float system. As members of the Washington Aggregates and Concrete Association, we are proud to contribute beyond our borders. We are proud to have been part of this project and its contribution to such a significant national monument.
Representatives for the USS Arizona Memorial Dock Replacement, National Park Service, Red Point Structures, Hawk Contracting Group, Bellingham Marine Industries, Ferndale Ready Mix and Gravel.
Well, if you're in a smaller market than Seattle, you got to do something that'll stand out, and the way to do that is to link yourself with a really good contractor that can showcase your concrete and what you can do. And so for us, that's Bellingham Marine, and I often refer to them as our gateway to the world. As a result, we have concrete from Alaska to Guam and throughout the Puget Sound. Along with Bellingham Marine, we produce technical concrete every day, and we're thankful to be part of such a national and historical project. The only issue that I had with producing this concrete was getting an invitation to go and make sure that everything with our concrete was installed properly on site. And so, just want to say thank you.
Very simple, very technical, and very significant.
In the category of concrete paving, our first entry is Monroe Street and Lincoln Street couplet. Owner-developer, City of Spokane. Structural engineer, City of Spokane Engineering Services. General contractor, Murphy Brothers. Concrete contractor, William Winkler. Ready-mix supplier, Spokane Rock Products and Old Castle Materials DBA Central Premix Concrete. Reconstruction of an active roadway is not an easy task, and this one required the total reconstruction of the Monroe and Lincoln corridor on Spokane's South Hill. With grades exceeding 13% and a multitude of transverse and longitudinal breakpoints, meeting the stringent tolerances throughout the climb were critical. Today's construction requires conformance to new roadway standards, and steep grades demand special attention to detail in careful forming, placing, and finishing. The measure of success? No remedial work was required during the course of construction. For the city, they now have a new corridor for South Hill residents, paved in concrete that will last 75 years with little maintenance and low ownership costs. Concrete paving on Spokane's South Hill. A lot of history and a lot of service in their communities. Our second concrete paving entry is SeaTac Runway 16C 34C Reconstruction. Owner-developer, architectural firm and structural engineer, Port of Seattle. General contractor, Scarcella Brothers, Acme, a joint venture. Concrete contractor and ready-mix supplier, Acme Concrete Paving. Built in 1969, the original runway was designed for only a 25-year service life. The new 9,426-foot center concrete runway is designed for a 40-year life. And no wonder. SeaTac is now the 9th busiest airport in the country, with over 412,000 takeoff and landings in 2016 alone. With projected growth to service 65 million passengers per year by 2023, the runways must be concrete tough. The new runway pavement profile is 8 inches of crushed recycled concrete and aggregate subbase, 4 inches of asphalt, and 18 inches of cast-in-place concrete in 4,000 panels over its 1.78-mile length. With the port's commitment to the environment, the old runway was recycled, and 300,000 square yards of recycled concrete runway will not go to a landfill. The hallmark of a truly sustainable building material, a cradle-to-cradle life cycle that built our existing world and is ready for use in the next generation of projects. Our third category entry is Port of Tacoma Road Rehabilitation. Owner-developer, architectural firm, and structural engineer, City of Tacoma. General and concrete contractor, Gary Merlino Construction. Ready-mix supplier, Cal Portland. The Port of Tacoma Road is a keystone arterial serving the Tacoma Tide Flats with access to over 100 businesses and carries over 10 million tons of freight annually. The heavy haul traffic just wore the old asphalt pavement right out, causing truck traffic delays, safety concerns, and damage to trucks and cargo. To keep freight moving, the asphalt road needed a complete rebuild. The solution was easy: concrete paving. The construction schedule was aggressive, with a goal of 1,000 cubic yards of slip-form paving per day. When completed, the 1.4-mile roadway was replaced with 10 inches of new concrete paving. To minimize impacts to businesses, a well-orchestrated effort of the project team, city and port staff, business and emergency response community made this concrete paving project a tremendous success. Our concrete paving category runner-up is Monroe Street and Lincoln Street couplet. And our category winner is SeaTac Runway 16C 34C reconstruction.
For Monroe Street, ready mix representative, please, from Old Castle Materials, Central Premix Concrete Company. For SeaTac Runway, Port of Seattle, Scarcella Brothers, Acme Joint Venture, Acme Concrete Paving, please.
So I'm the only one here, and I got to pack all these home for everybody. But so we started out that project thinking that we're going to strive to get a project that we can all sit on our mantle of our houses. And well, I've got more than enough to sit on my own mantle, so I'm going to have to pass them out now, I guess. But so, anyways, thank you everybody for the recognition. This is really a signature project for us for sure. So thank you.
Two significant things about this category: the growing use of recycled concrete materials for sub-base, integral concrete, recycled aggregate, etc. We expect to see more of that because it's becoming a very critical, sustainable building material for us as we recycle the old and put it into the new. Monroe Street, Lincoln Street couplet. In the city of Spokane, in the South Hill neighborhoods, one of the original concrete streets in the state of Washington was built. We got it pegged between about 1902 and 1905, and it was called a granitoid street, which meant there was an 8-step process on how they built this road. It was all built in small panels with small grooves so that the horses, because there were no cars, so the horses had traction getting up into the hills. The curb, the sidewalk, was all basically segmental construction. It still remains in place today. We talk about craftsmanship. In the day, concrete craftsmen used to stamp their name in the sidewalk. Brass plaques, rubber stamps, or what have you. The oldest stamp we can find in the state, South Hill, City of Spokane, 1908. Pretty good. Michael, next project, please.
In special applications technical merit, our first entry is Costco Wholesale Parking Garage. Developer, Costco Wholesale. Architectural firm, MG2. Structural engineer, Engineers Northwest. General and concrete contractor, Ferguson Construction. Ready mix supplier, Cadman. For this parking garage, the original design was a 7-story structure. No problem. Then it became an 8-story structure. Problem. The site wasn't designed for that loading. How to put concrete on a diet? Solution? Lightweight aggregate. By using expanded shale lightweight aggregates from Colorado, the Ready Mix team was able to design a lightweight concrete mix that reduced concrete unit weights from 150 to 118 pounds per cubic foot, a 21% weight loss. The lightweight design pumped, placed, and finished with ease. Post-tension strengths exceeded the 3-day 3,000 psi requirements and allowed for an earlier than expected 2-day stress schedule. If only weight loss was that easy. Our next technical merit finalist is Hanford Site Contaminated Pipeline Remediation. Owner-developer, Washington Closure Hanford. Structural engineer, Columbia Energy. Ready mix supplier, American Rock Products. Elemental mercury contaminated waste pipelines at the Hanford site's 300 area. To eliminate this environmental threat and minimize the potential for mercury releases during excavation and dismantling of the lines for disposal, a specialty grout was needed. The technical team and ready-mix supplier designed a non-segregating, flowable, sulfur-amended grout mix suitable for injecting into the abandoned waste lines. This was no ordinary grout. To be effective, the grout needed a minimum of 10% elemental sulfur, be able to freely flow 500 feet down a 2-inch pipe, and achieve a minimum strength of 125 psi required at 28 days. Because of the sensitive nature of the work, small volume test batches using powdered and pelletized sulfur and slag materials were conducted. Approximately 2,900 feet of buried waste lines of radiological mercury contamination were successfully mitigated with the sulfur grout. Our third entry is Lake Taps Timber Flume Replacement. Owner-developer, Cascade Water Alliance. Structural engineer, HDR Engineering. General and concrete contractor, Pease Construction. Ready-mix supplier, Cal Portland. This project was about mix, materials, and constructability. 10,000 psi concrete was specified with a minimum cement content of 846 pounds per yard with a maximum 0.40 water-cement ratio. Base slabs were 1 foot thick and a minimum 3 days of curing was required. To keep on schedule, the contractor developed a color-coded numbering system to coordinate slab and wall pours to maintain production while curing took place. The plan broke the flume into 46 individual segments, each about 50 feet long. 200 to 300 feet of concrete slab walls were constructed daily. A custom canopy tented the slab to protect from rain, and portable heaters helped the curing process. Most cylinders broke well over 12,000 psi at 28 days. When means and methods come together, dramatic outcomes can be realized. In Special Applications Technical Merit, the runner-up is Lake Taps Timber Flume Replacement. And our Technical Merit winner is Costco Wholesale Parking Garage and Hanford Site Contaminated Pipeline Remediation.
Representative from Cal Portland, please, for the timber flume replacement project. You thought it was all about just buildings. Costco Wholesale Parking Garage, Costco Wholesale, MG2 Corporation, Engineers Northwest, Ferguson Construction, and Cadman. And for the Hanford Site Contaminated Pipeline Remediation, Washington Closure Hanford, Columbia Energy, and American Rock Products. New category this year, resiliency. Resiliency is becoming the next sustainability. Public officials are looking for ways that we can build the built environment to be able to provide areas of safe refuge, to make sure our first responders can move around, our bridges don't fall, our infrastructure doesn't collapse upon itself, hospitals can remain operating and open to be able to take care of people that need care. It's becoming the next way public construction is starting to look at how do we do the built environment and be able to survive or be able to manage our way through a natural disaster. Earthquake comes to mind in this neck of the woods. So very, very, very pleased to introduce to you our first ever inaugural category of resilience construction.
Resilience is the intentional design of buildings, landscapes, communities, and regions to respond and adapt to natural or man-made disasters and maintain or regain functionality in the face of stress or disturbance. Resilience is both a response and action. Special Applications Resiliency. Our inaugural category entrant is Ocosta Elementary Middle School Replacement. Owner-developer, Ocosta School District. Architectural firm, TCF Architecture. Structural engineer, Dejan Kolb Engineers. General contractor, Integrity Structures. Concrete contractor, Vision Concrete. Ready Mix supplier, Bellevue Ready Mix. Less than a mile from the Pacific Ocean, earthquake experts believe a tsunami could reach Ocosta Elementary in Westport in as little as 20 minutes following a major earthquake along the Cascadia subduction zone. That fact, with the need to replace a 45-year-old elementary school, provided the catalyst for local voters to approve bond funding for a new elementary building that would become the nation's first tsunami vertical evacuation structure. Built to be a place of safe refuge, the redundancy in structural design is impressive. A strong concrete foundation with 36 concrete pilings for support in case foundation soils eroded away. 14-inch concrete walls fortified the vertical shelter areas to withstand wave heights. Strategically placed concrete staircases allowing access to the roof for 700 students and staff. And in the event the disaster compromised the exterior walls, the building core was designed to remain intact. Resilient concrete structures, built to last and provide safety in our communities.
Representatives for the Ocosta Elementary School Replacement, Ocosta School District, TCF Architecture, Dejan Kolb Engineers, Integrity Structures, Vision Concrete, Bellevue Ready Mix, and we are pleased to have a representative from Ocosta School District, the lady basically responsible for making this project possible.
I'd like to thank the association very much for this recognition of our building. This is an historic project for the country. This is the first ever tsunami vertical evacuation structure built actually in North America. So it's a very significant event. And the Ocosta community came together to fund this structure. This is all paid for by taxpayers in Ocosta. No government subsidies, just local taxpayers supporting us and making sure that their kids are safe and that generations to come are safe. And I just want to say the importance of concrete in the structure cannot be overemphasized. Our marine environment is such that everything corrodes but concrete. And also, if you take a look at the buildings that survived the tsunamis in Japan, you'll see that buildings of concrete were the very best material used. So we knew that, and that's why this building was created the way that it was. So thank you very much.
Pretty significant when a community takes it upon themselves to fund it themselves, to do a bond structure, to be able to put together something that's the first of its kind, to be able to take care of their own in their own community. Very pleased and very proud to be a part of that. Thank you very much for making that project happen. Thank you. Our final category tonight, Sustainable Merit.
Special Applications Sustainable Merit is our final category tonight. Our first entry is the Nelson Residence. Owner-developer, Josh and Laura Nelson. Architectural firm, Vision Designs. Structural engineer, Banton Engineering. General contractor, Design Doctors. Concrete contractor, Elite Construction. Ready Mix supplier, Cal Portland. The owners knew concrete was going to be the main material used to build their new home. They wanted a home that would be secure and energy efficient and low maintenance. ICF, or insulated concrete forms, would provide the owners with high-performance walls with R values in the range of R40. When combined with an insulated floor radiant heating system, ICF creates whole house comfort, significant energy efficiency and savings, and long-term residential value. Easy to build and affordable, ICF may become the next generation of sustainable home building materials to meet the new 2015 Washington State Energy Code requirements. ICF, a solid investment in residential concrete construction. Can we build one for you? Our second entry is Elliott Bay Seawall. Owner-developer, Seattle Department of Transportation. Structural engineer, Parsons. General and concrete contractor, Mortensen Manson, a joint venture. Geotechnical contractor, Hayward Baker. Precast elements, APS, Architectural Precast Structures, McMillan Jacobs Associates, and Oldcastle Precast. Ready-mix supplier, Stoneway Concrete. Improving marine habitat was a major focus for the seawall project, and concrete was the perfect medium to enhance lost marine life. Texture became an important element to re-establish habitat along the new seawall. 390 new concrete face panels are specifically textured to promote growth of vegetation and marine invertebrates, an important food source for migrating juvenile salmon and other marine life. 3 different concrete wall face designs are used to promote tideline marine shells and points of attachment for marine life. Marine mattresses are installed to create a favorable substrate for habitat growth and a shallow water corridor for migrating fish. When complete, these specialty concrete textures will become habitat in the shallow waters, and sunlight from the glass blocks cast in the light-penetrating sidewalks will help to restore the near-shore ecosystem. Concrete, truly a natural and sustainable choice. Our final category entry tonight is Pierce County Readiness Center. Owner-developer, Department of Enterprise Services. Architectural firm and structural engineer, WJA Design Collaborative. General and concrete contractor, Absher Construction. Concrete finishers, the Conco Companies and Wilson Concrete Construction. Ready-mix supplier, Miles Sand and Gravel. Built to meet LEED Silver standards, the owner is committed to achieving sustainability while satisfying rigid military construction guidelines. Ready-mix concrete was used throughout the project to accomplish these objectives. High-performance insulated concrete forms will meet or exceed energy efficiency standards and reduce energy costs over the life of the building. High-density polished concrete floors replace the need for secondary interior finishes, such as carpet or tile, and will provide low maintenance and durability. High-performance wall systems, enhanced interior finishes, and hardscape exterior paving elements combine to merge sustainability and military standards. Total concrete construction, sustainable and built with strength. Our category runner-up is Pierce County Readiness Center. And our Sustainable Merit category winner is Elliott Bay Seawall.
Pierce County Readiness Center, representative from Miles Sand and Gravel. And for the Elliott Bay Seawall, Seattle Department of Transportation, Parsons, Mortensen Manson Joint Venture, Hayward Baker, APS Architectural Precast Structures, McMillan Jacobs Associates, Oldcastle Precast, Stoneway Concrete.
I'd just like to add a special thank you to the University of Washington. We had access to some international experts that work at UW that helped us do some things that haven't been done before. So we're going to be monitoring our habitat improvements for 10 years to see how well they worked, and which of the designs worked best. So special thanks to them, and again to everyone on our project team. Thank you.
So, and now, a couple things before we announce our grand award winner selected by the judges. Two things. Before you go, if you'd like to read about today's event before tomorrow's newspapers hit at the DJC, we'll have copies of the special concrete edition out front that the DJC puts out each year, as well as our social media in the brochure. Something new to me, I can assure you, Twittering and Instagram and all the rest of Facebooking and all that stuff. However, I've been asked to make sure that you like us. I feel better about that. And that you hashtag Concrete Rocks, and we have photos available for you at our step and repeat banner over to the right as you leave the ballroom. Mike, grand award winner, please.
Before we reveal tonight's grand award winner, let's take a moment to review our category winners. In Tilt-Up Structures, Matilda Building. In Cast-in-Place Structures, Tower 12. Cast-in-Place Structures Parking Garages, Costco Wholesale Parking Garage. In Public Works Bridges, SR 520 Floating Bridge and Landings. Public Works Renovations, US 195 Excelsior Road to Interstate 90 southbound lanes PCCP Rehab. In Public Works Infrastructure, Elliott Bay Seawall. In Residential Concrete, the Nelson Residence. In Artistic and Decorative Concrete, Northwest Trek Kids Trek. For Pervious Concrete, Fort Lewis North Athletic Complex. In Concrete Paving, SeaTac Runway 16C 34C Reconstruction. In Special Applications Technical Merit, Costco Wholesale Parking Garage and Hanford Site Contaminated Pipeline Remediation. Special Applications Resiliency Merit, Acosta Elementary Middle School Replacement. In Sustainable Merit, Elliott Bay Seawall. And now, the 2017 Washington Aggregates and Concrete Association's Excellence in Concrete Construction Grand Award goes to the SR 520 Floating Bridge and Landings.
So the project team from SR 520, Washington State Department of Transportation, Helix, KPFF, Berger ABAM, Kiewit, General Manson Joint Venture, Ballardy Company, Cal Portland, and Cadman.
Well, thank you to the group for the recognition. I believe the project speaks for itself in its size and complexity, and it takes a very special team to deliver a project like this, and I'm very proud to be part of this team. And then finally, I'd like to dedicate this award to Joe Ahrens, who lost his life while building this project. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Cody. What a special project. You know, it's great at its size and volume and all this and whatnot, but, you know, we've all had so many projects that we've been involved with that are high profile, high tech, the stories about Ferndale and your community and what you do, and all of us have been involved in that. And this project's really special to me. You know, when people drive across the 520 bridge, and normally they drive across it and they're pissed off about paying the toll to start with, but then they look out and they see, maybe it's a sunny day in Seattle and whatnot, and the lake's beautiful and all that. But when I drive across it, every time I go across it, I think of some things like this. The picture I see is Cody and his team, KGM, Greg Metler getting together, Cal Portland getting together, and setting up a batch plant in Aberdeen, and putting people to work in that community. And maybe, with building those pontoons down there, there was people in bars and restaurants that maybe a waitress there could buy cleats for her son so he could play a Friday night on their slippery grass field and play high school football in a depressed community. And then we built these pontoons with high-tech concrete, but then we got to float them up into Lake Washington, and on more than a Gilligan's Island tour, believe me. Guys risking their life to float these things up into the lake and put them in place. And then meanwhile, there was some property in Kenmore that Jerry Trudeau and I worked together many years ago, and I used to play on that property when I was a young boy, and it was nothing but a junkyard back there. That's what it was. It was a complete junkyard. And Cody and his team, 180 degrees from what Tracy Vetter and ABC or Como News would say, they came up there and they cleaned that property up. They took all the junk off the property, and they put a sand blanket in, and that property's cleaner than it's been since the 40s before a ready mix operation was there. I mean, it was incredible on what they did. Well then, many years later, we get to set up a precast operation there with high-tech concrete again to come up with a mix design to meet the Coulomb rating and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And they ramp the heat up on it and cool it down to get the strength right. And then we don't have to truck anything down. We get to barge it down the lake and put the panels in place on the pontoons. That was pretty cool. But before all that started, they had to pour a mass concrete pour of 3,300 yards. And the way the thermal control plan was, the concrete had to be under 45 degrees, okay? Well, that's kind of different, isn't it? I mean, normally you're trying to make 55 degrees, but it can't be over 90. Well, no, this has to be 45 degrees. So we set up a liquid nitrogen operation at our Kenmore facility, and I lanced about 15 loads myself, and I didn't break one drum, but somebody else did, but it wasn't from my team. But anyway, I'm not placing blame on anybody here tonight. But it was really unique. I mean, we were cooling concrete down to 35 degrees on a hot August night, and it was 85 degrees that day. And the concrete batch temperature was 85. We're cooling concrete down 50 degrees and sending it out to the job site so they can pour the footing. That was kind of cool and really interesting because there was a cloud that nobody could see through the city of Kenmore that night. So it was really interesting. What a special project. And that's what I see when I drive across the bridge. And also I think about you people and what we do with liquid rock and what we do in this industry. So here's my prayer. It goes like this. Concrete over steel in more ways than one, forevermore. Amen. Good night.
Final reminder, project teams can have pictures taken at the step and repeat banner outside of the ballroom to the right-hand side. Please like us on Facebook. Like us, that would be nice. See you again next year for the 50th anniversary. Thank you all very much. Please drive safely. Good night, everybody.